Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Sade. Thank y'all for joining me for our astrology talks. For today, we are diving into the partial solar eclipse in the sign of Aries that we have happening on April 19th. And you can honestly call this an April 20th solar eclipse as well because it's happening in the evening of the 19th. And it just depends on where you are in the world. So, the week of April 19th and 20th, we have a partial solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. And we will complete that eclipse when we have another solar eclipse in the sign of Libra later on in October. So if you haven't seen my videos on what a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse means, go ahead and check that out. I have tons of videos on my YouTube channel. But really briefly, for the sake of this video, what makes something a solar eclipse is when the sun, the moon, and the collective north node are all in the same sign. So a solar eclipse is essentially a new moon. However, eclipses are not the time to plant any new seeds of intention because the point of eclipses is to really shift and change the trajectory of your destiny to put you on the right path of where you are supposed to be going. And because we are moving into the North Node switching into the sign of Aries in July, South Node would be in the sign of Libra, we are really moving onto this trajectory of independence. So, this solar eclipse can really bring a lot of change to wherever you have Aries or Taurus. And the reason I say both Aries and Taurus is because the eclipse is 29 degrees Aries. So, it's basically harboring the Taurus sign because 29th degree is the last degree. Then we move into the first degree of the new sign. So if you are a person that has your sun in or your moon about 27 degrees Aries, as well as having your sun or your moon maybe about 4 to 5 degrees Taurus, this eclipse is really gonna you're gonna feel this eclipse a little bit heavier than opposed if you had your sun sign in the first degree of Aries. You were really feeling the new moon that we had back in March. Now, this is also going to be very important if you have your rising in Aries as well as your rising in Taurus. I myself have my moon in Aries and I have my rising in Taurus. So, this past year and the year to come have literally just been about change. And the best advice that I can really give for people who are going through a major change or shift with this eclipse is to stay open. Stay open in your heart to really receive the abundance of what can happen, especially when you think and you know that the universe is really working on your side. When you just stay open to whatever the change is, it's easier for you to see the opportunity in a situation and for you to take advantage of that opportunity. Because we are in the spring season and the weather is changing, the body is changing, I would definitely say stay light in the body so that you can process and digest a lot of changes and shifts that might be happening in your life. Because the thing about eclipses, it's a complete 180 shift. So you might not even know why this change is happening, but you have to just trust and believe that this change is happening to guide you along the path that you really wanted for yourself. And the reason I feel this so deeply is because the sign of Aries is the sign of independence. It's the sign of courage. It's the sign of leadership. So wherever we have been feeling stagnant, wherever we have been sabotaging ourselves, and whatever we have truly desired and wanted deeply for ourselves, this eclipse is going to shift that energy for us so that we can be on that path. Whenever you're working with Aries energy, though, it is impulsive and it is, especially if you are a person who lacks confidence, it's really going to push you to have to step into leadership, step into being that authoritative figure over your life that you have the capability of being, but you might have been a little bit um, self-sabotaging in some of your thoughts and your actions. So think back to what themes took place during the new moon that we had in Aries back at the end of March. And the beautiful thing about this eclipse happening in Aries is it's going to give you a preview of what the theme is going to be for your life for the next 18 months when the North Node officially moves into Aries in July. So this entire Aries season has really just been eye-opening, especially for myself, as to where I'm going, where am I heading, and preparing myself for that shift. Because once the North Node moves into Aries, wherever you have Aries in your chart, that will be the spotlight of your life for that next 18 months. as well as the South Node being in Libra. I will have a full video on what that North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra means, and how to really use it to understand where in your chart you're going to need to focus a little bit more on confidence, on courage, as well as leadership. So take advantage of this energy. This is not a season to plant new seeds, as I said before. This is a season to just be aware. What is changing in your life? What fire is building inside of you? And if you have avoided the information that the universe gave to you during that first new moon that we had in Aries, this eclipse is going to shift you without really giving you permission. That's the point of eclipses. You don't have a say, you don't have permission. It just happens, and it's not going to affect everyone the same, especially if you don't have major planets in Aries, Taurus, Libra, or Scorpio, and especially if you are not close to that degree. I'm very big on making sure that the degrees are close, because if you're far out of range, then you're going to feel this shift, but it's going to be much more intense for someone who is a 29-degree Aries person and has that planet in Aries anywhere in their chart. So definitely go ahead, check out to see where you have this eclipse happening. I would love to hear what changes have been happening for you these past few weeks, because eclipse energy you can feel easily weeks before, and eclipses last for 6 full months. So this change is going to take some time to really foster and to build some foundation. So let me know how this energy has been moving for you, and I wish everyone a great eclipse season. I will be definitely in hibernation since this is affecting my moon and my rising energy, so that I can process and see, okay, where do I need to be? What do I need to do? And how can I take advantage of this energy? So happy eclipse season, everyone, and I will see you for our lunar eclipse that we have happening in the sign of Scorpio. Before I leave, one last thing to say. Mercury will be going retrograde the day after this eclipse. So this is really not a time to be impulsive, but to just allow the universe to shift you, reflect on that shift, and then once we get into Gemini season, we will have planets out of retrograde, and then the energy will be able to move forward. All right, y'all, I will see you for our next video.